Long intros don't do too well. So
Let's talk your first movies and why I love them. Let's
oh wait, I have a typo in my script.
I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger?
Into the Spider-Verse released in 2018 and was a massive hit, and rightfully so. On one hand, it's an animated film, but it's not fully reliant on that aspect like a lot of Disney films. While the animation is stellar, the characters are well written with arcs. The first two, like the main two characters in this film, are Miles Morales, the main character, who's given spider powers and needs to learn to be Spider-Man, the always get back up message, after the original Spider-Man dies in a PG film. Could you believe it? There's also Peter B. Parker, a depressed and alone Spider-Man who had such a great life and then got it all thrown away. Gwen Stacy is also a main character, but doesn't have much of an arc until the sequel. There are also three other Spider-Men that aren't huge characters, but they're still very likable characters. Okay, the Disney jokes, they aren't funny anymore. So I make a likable character joke, but I already made like 3 Disney jokes within 2 minutes. Anyways, the villains also are great. Multiple Spider-Man villains in one film hadn't really worked so well until Homecoming. But this was probably in the works for longer, since it's an animated film, those take longer to produce. But yeah, multiple villains work great in this case. And the comedy and the superhero vibe, the action, story, soundtrack, these aspects make this movie amazing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying that this movie was spectacular. Okay, that's weird. What's going on? But yeah, final point before I move on to the sequel. This is the greatest comic book movie of all time, and I can probably make a good point why it's the greatest movie of all time. But I think comic book movie is like a very safe spot for it to keep.
I'm wide awake, be very afraid.
In 2023, 5 years later, or 4.5 if you're being technical, we got this peak sequel. So let me get started. This movie was amazing. While I liked the first one more, I loved this one. It's a story expanding on the world that we were introduced to, and it does it well. There are also arcs in this film, Miles and Gwen. Miles not as much as before, where you try and figure out his story, while Gwen has a much larger arc. Not as good as Into the Spider-Verse, but I still think that this is a great film. Something I do like better is the side characters. They were done much better. I love Puppetr and Hobie way more than I love Penny, Dora, and Ham. Well, I still love them, don't get me wrong. I can't wait to see the whole gang together in June of 2027. The villains were also pretty good in this film. You know what my biggest problem was? People decided to post spoilers in their thumbnails and titles of YouTube videos. This isn't a one-time thing. This happens like every movie. What the hell do people find so joyous about ruining other people's experience? The least you could do is put spoilers in the thumbnail and a warning and title. But no, that's the only way you get views. Why don't you actually make content with every require? Okay, enough ranting. The great themes from the first movie are still present, but there was a plot twist that ruined it for some. Well, I personally loved it, but I will get into that later. Just trust me.
Coming back, summer sun, has it brought my life back?
And you can't talk about Spider-Verse without talking about the soundtrack. When Across the Spider-Verse came out, I kept getting those Spider-Verse soundtrack got me liked videos. The soundtrack is the most replayable music you could think of. Both kinds of songs were amazing, the instrumental music and the lyrical music. They were both spectacular, amazing, fantastic.
Say that again?
Okay, that was weird. But these have taken on my playlist for years, and the soundtrack really makes the movie, and it wouldn't be the same without it. The music does remind me that I'm sick. There are also 2 short films. The first one was Caught in a Ham that takes place before Into the Spider-Verse. I'm going to be honest, I watched it for the first time for this video, and I was procrastinating on it. So it was like 1 a.m. when I watched it. It was so weird. It felt like a fever dream. It's like a different age demographic, which I can understand. But yeah, I forgot to mention, I love how these films don't have a specified age demographic and apply to all. Then the one I was confused why they didn't release when they said, they later posted on YouTube, and I loved it, The Spider Within, which is a great short film that takes place in between the 2 main movies. I love the depiction of anxiety and seeing him out of multiverse more, and him and his dad's relationship. Also, I love the demon, anxiety demon thing. He's horrifying. And don't ask me how long it took me to find the credits song.
Give all of me, yeah, I can hear you screaming out, calling me.
It has been confirmed we're getting quite a few spin-offs to this movie, and the final movie of the trilogy, which I'll get to, please believe me. But first off, we got a Spider-Woman project confirmed, and I have no idea what in the multiverse is going on with that. I mean, I'll probably watch it. There is also the Spider Noir show coming out next year. I don't know if that's a spin-off or just another universe with the same character. It looks good from the set leaks and the small teaser we got, and I know we are getting both a colored and a black and white version, which will be great. But I do know that it's a good sign that Sony is actually making Spider-Man projects for the Spider-Man IP. And speaking of cool characters that got spin-offs, we have Spider-Punk, and if it's the same version we saw in Across, which it seems to be, it's going to be years. It took apparently 2 to 3 years to complete all the animations on Hobie himself in Across, so they will either have another style, maybe Hobie in another universe working with the Spider Society on missions, showing him questioning it, taking more place before Across. So yeah, it'll either be different or take 20 years to come out. Beyond the Spider-Verse, I really hope this movie will be great. It kind of makes or breaks the trilogy. I do believe, based off the track record, it'll be great. I know there has been controversy, but it was still there on Across and possibly in 2, so I think it'll be fine. This trilogy, because they confirmed they have no plans for Spider-Verse 4, can possibly be the greatest comic book trilogy of all time, or the greatest trilogy of all time. And while I know people are upset with the cliffhanger, something similar happened from Star Wars to my understanding. According to interviews I've seen, apparently Empire Strikes Back was hated when it first came out because it was incomplete. Obviously, it's more complete than this film, but still, it was way more enjoyed when Return of the Jedi released. I'm feeling Beyond the Spider-Verse will be the same, and I'm really excited. I can't wait for this movie. It'll be 679 days as of this video's release. God, my first video will be 2 years old. If I'm still posting, it's going to make 400 videos around the movie, though I'm probably going to be old. Well, 2027 isn't that far. Oh my god, it actually put on long outro, so I won't have you long. I would have left by now myself. But I do know that asking you guys to comment, and subscribe actually does work if you could do that or something.